ladies and gentlemen, like Big Blue, bring you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. It's Thursday, September 23rd. We're getting ready for some football. Sunday. Atlanta Falcons. Can't wait. Eli Manning retirement day. We're going to do a big show on Friday, live stream, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We only stream for about an hour because, you know, it's all you need to stream for. An hour is good. We're going to talk about Eli Manning. We're going to talk about the Falcons, and we'll still do Sunday Chalk Talk, but I just wanted to do a little Eli retrospective show and have a little fun with the retirement ceremony and all that good stuff. I've decided, since there's been some confusion in regards to sarcasm that is on the show and how some people don't get it. And someone had a great idea, and I can't remember what subscriber it was, about having a plane sound effect flying overhead for the alert for sarcasm, because some people just don't get it and it just goes over their head. So you know what we're going to do? We've changed it now. Now when there's going to be sarcasm.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
So now people will know officially when I am being sarcastic, and they can leave their nasty comments alone. Just thought it'd be easier that way for everyone, because evidently some people need some help. All right, let's talk about the Giants here. We got the injury report update. Evan Engram, he's making strides to coming back. He's making his he's making the necessary steps needed, as Joe Judge says, so he can participate. The crucial steps towards his potential return on week 3. And let's face it. If, to me, Daniel Jones needs Evan Engram. He needs the tight end. He needs the dump off. He needs a security blanket. Evan Engram was targeted over 100 times last year. Yeah, he had 11 drops, in which people will equate to 3 interceptions and 35 points. I love how I am the only one on Twitter or YouTube or anything does not have osmosis. I just can't see into the future or look back into the past and say, okay, if he would have caught this, we would have won the game, or if he would have caught this, the other team wouldn't have scored. I can't do that. I don't have that innate gift or ability. I don't know how people do it. So they could say 35 points are caused by Evan Engram. Okay. And the Eagle game was his fault. I admit that. You got to admit that 100% freely, but you can't sit there and say 35 points. Like I've said it a million times, though, I'm the only YouTuber or person on Instagram or Twitter or anything else that cannot predict the future. I don't know, but he's coming back closer and closer. And, you know, I think Daniel Jones needs that security blanket. He needs that. And every quarterback does. It's not just Daniel Jones. You need that sure-handed tight end. Too bad that's not Evan Engram. He only caught like 50-something, like 56% of the passes thrown his way, and he had almost 100 passes thrown at him. So, I mean, that's just, it is what it is. But he's doing what he needs to do to get on the field. Now, will he help Daniel Jones in the offense? And I mean, yes, of course he's going to. That ability to dump off into the middle with someone with a little bit more offensive firepower than Kyle Rudolph and Caden Smith. Kyle Rudolph's got 4 receptions for 33 yards. Caden Smith has got 2 receptions for 24 yards after 2 games. I've said this before, and I said this before we signed Kyle Rudolph. I think Kyle Rudolph's washed up. If you watched his last 2 years in Minnesota, he's not even close to being the same player that he was even 5 years ago. And Caden Smith, to me, is a good third tight end. He's never going to get you he's not going to get you anything on the yak. He's going to you give him an 8-yard dump off, he's going to get you 8 yards, maybe, and another half a yard. I mean, it's not like he's that fantastic option. And also having Evan Engram is going to help open up the middle of the field. It's going to give us the opportunity to hopefully not only open up the middle of the field, but also open up the outside. Because of the fact that if you have that option in the middle, and that option is someone that can take it to the house every time they get the ball, that's going to give room for Kenny G, and that's going to give room for Darius, and it's going to give room for Sterling, and it's going to give room for Kadarius Toney. The Toney situation is interesting because there were some rumors that I heard. I don't like to report rumors anymore, but there were some rumors that I heard from around East Rutherford that he's having a difficult time grasping some of the basic concepts of the offense, which is why he's not getting on the field, which would make sense why he's not playing. But he's blaming everyone else. It's not his fault. He was an all-star. He was all world at Florida for 4 years. Oh no, just for that last year. But having Evan Engram will open up the Giants offense. It'll give Daniel Jones another target. I didn't think going down with the calf injury, like I said, we don't know exactly what the calf injury was, but I didn't think going back to the calf injury down the 29th of August that this would have been festering into week 3. But we need to be optimistic. I think it's going to be something that we need to see. Judge said he had a decent day on Monday. Engram was. He said decent is not good. You can go ahead and paraphrase it. His structure, whatever it is for me, decent is decent. That's what Joe Judge says. But we need Evan Engram back. I think that's going to be help Daniel Jones, help the Giants offense. And like I said, you got to remember, guys, the Giants offense scored 29 points on almost 400 yards. And you could sit there and say, oh, these plays that we should have had. You don't know. You never know. He might have thrown that pass to Darius Slayton 9 times or 10 times, and he may have dropped 8 times. You don't know. Because everyone can sit there and make these catches. I'm the only guy on YouTube that can't make these catches. I look at that catch, I see him extending, I see him trying to run underneath it, and I'm sitting thinking to myself, oh, he should have made that catch. I'm thinking to myself going, damn, that's a tough catch to make. But like I said, I'm the only guy that can't do these things. It's amazing. I want to talk about the injury report a little bit because I found something a little interesting. Kenny G is on the injury point with a hip injury. He's got a hip issue, which I think is interesting because, of course, we know we had the hip pointer injury last year. They're not really giving much information on it. He was limited in practice. I said it from day one. I was a little leery about Kenny and the hip because a hip is not like a knee. A knee, you could literally see the muscle, you can see the tendons, you can feel the muscles around it, you can feel the cartilage, you can see if it's loose. A hip injury, especially when it's a hip pointer, can fester, and it could start causing arthritis, could start causing a degenerative hip issue. You never know. You never know what's going on with that hip, and you got to get a full MRI, and you got to get a full scan, you got to get a bone scan. So that's always something to look out for, Kenny. And I said that even before we signed him. I think we need to be a little cautious with the hip because the hip is something that it's just one of those tricky injuries. It's like tearing your Achilles tendon. You never know exactly how you're going to come back from an Achilles tendon tear or when, because it's not like the knee, because you can't really look at your Achilles tendon behind your leg and look at it like you can and examine the knee and the ACL and the MCL. And the medial collateral ligaments and the meniscus and the mid meniscus, you can't really look at those things. So I'm just curious about that. Logan Ryan's also joined it on the injured wrist with the hamstring. Saquon Barkley, of course, is on the knee. Caden Smith is also on the knee, who was limited. Cam Brown had the calf. He was out, of course, last. Nate Ebner. Oh God, Nate Ebner's got a quad.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm. Warning.
We are so going to miss Nate Ebner if he can't play. Oh, I don't know what we're going to do. Austin Johnson is out with an illness. I guess that's not COVID related because he would probably be down with that. And like I said, my biggest issue right now is Kenny with the hip. He had the hip flexor strain. That's what they were saying. But like I said, it's just one of those injuries that you need. In the course of Giants game, the clean bill of health. It's just one of those injuries that you don't know. You can't figure out. It's not something, like I said, it's a tough injury to go through, and it's a tough injury to diagnose after it happens and to treat after it happens. So, gotta hope that Kenny does well with that and is able to come back. We're gonna do a breakdown of the game on Friday. We'll have that video out Friday morning, and of course, we're gonna do the live stream on Friday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do a little Eli Manning retrospective. I mean, I did follow Eli Manning's career from 2004, from the moment he was drafted through the last day of his career. He was the second quarterback in my Giant lineage because I was also there when the Giants drafted Phil Simms in 79. I wasn't there at the draft, but I was a fan following the team in 79, so I watched Phil Simms throughout his career. I saw the lineage of quarterbacks that followed Phil Simms. Luckily we stepped into Kerry Collins. And also the fact that, like I said, I was there so Eli was my second quarterback, so I had the pleasure of watching him from day one. I was actually at the draft, and actually was at Giant Stadium when they had his welcome party. So it'll be fun on Friday. So, and again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We're bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, and that means that'd be awesome.